Hey there, welcome to Pool Elementary, and today we've got ourselves a situation where we've got an auto cover and the actual bead or rope has came out of the track, and we're going to go over a couple reasons why this might happen, and we'll show you the quick fix to get this back in the actual track and get it rolling again. Normally, if you're going to go ahead and close your pool cover and you do notice that the rope is out of the actual track, you should stop immediately. This one right here, they just continued on winding the actual pool cover down the track. So we've got the whole cover itself outside of the track here. And I am very surprised that this hasn't fallen in the water and taken on water and actually sunk the cover. So lucky us for that. But we'll go over what you need to do even if it does sink. Because normally if these go underneath the water, you can't really pump them off fast enough. So we'll go over the few steps of getting this cover back into its track, and it's pretty easy. It shouldn't take more than 20-30 minutes to do. So with our pool cover not submerged underneath the water, we can go ahead, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to try to wind this cover back onto its actual roller here and get the beginning of the actual cover where the leading edge is at the end back into this track. So the tools you're going to probably need for this job is a 1/2 inch wrench to loosen the wheels on the actual leading edge that goes on the front of the cover, and just a Phillips screwdriver. And the Phillips screwdrivers for basically taking off these rope guides on the end of the track. So this is either going to be top side, where how this cover is actually mounted above the ground, or it's going to be on the end of the trench, and you'll just have a lid you have to lift up and prop open. Real simple. We're just going to go ahead and loosen the screw that's holding this rope guide in place here, like so, and that should just come loose. And then next, there's actually another bolt that has a nut on it, and if you just loosen this up a little bit, that should just slide off of the actual rope itself. And as you can see, it's got a nut in the bottom of it, and we've actually put some duct tape on it so it doesn't fall out if we over loosen this. But with that off, now our actual cover can roll up, come back, and we can actually get that front leading guide on the actual cover put back into this track. Now, if your cover is completely submerged with water and your cover is actually sunk on one side, you're never going to be able to pump off the water as fast as it's filling up. So the only way to be able to get this cover back down there to where we can work on it would be to actually take this leading edge off of the cover. And by taking this off, it's going to allow the front of the cover to fall down into the pool, and as this cover rolls up, it's going to actually guide the water right off the end of this so we can reel the actual cover up. So when taking off this leading edge, we didn't have to do it because the cover wasn't submerged, but basically all we're going to do is loosen up this 1/2 inch bolt right here, and this is going to allow our wheels to move whatever way so they're not getting in the way of sliding this off. And then on each side of the actual leading edge, there's 2 screws basically holding this fabric into this actual leading edge so it's not moving back and forth. Once you take out these 2 screws on each side, as you can see, there's just a groove right here, and the actual cover company has sewn in a rope in the leading edge of this actual fabric, and that just basically, this leading edge will just slide right off of the actual cover. So you just got to make sure you have enough room to get that full leading edge off of that cover. And same thing goes when you go to put it back on. You'll feel in the actual head of the cover right here that goes on the leading edge, the rope will actually end just before the outside of the cover, and that's where you'll begin sliding it through the actual groove on the leading edge. So that just slides in and out of the cover. It's pretty easy to do. Just got to take it a few inches at a time and get it on there properly, and then go ahead and put your screws back into the actual cover where they were, and then you'll just adjust your wheels where they need to be to ride the actual deck and tighten down this 1/2 inch nut. I like to keep about a finger width below the leading edge and the actual track itself. Now when we go ahead and roll this back up, I like to use 2 guys and I'll have a guy over here, and what he's gonna do is make sure that this cover's going onto this roll evenly and staying over here without getting his hands too close to any of this mechanism here. We don't want to get our fingers lost in this job. With my helper, he's gonna go over and actually run the auto key, which will actually roll the cover up. And we're just gonna take this cover about 2 feet at a time. And we're just gonna try to slide this rope back. We wanna make sure that the rope's not catching anywhere. And here we go. So we'll take it 2 feet back. And we're just gonna work it. And you can see I'm keeping my hands away from any mechanism here. And we're just working this cover back. And it looks like it's coming back pretty good. All right, keep it coming, Tony. We'll go ahead and push it over a little bit. It's getting a little bit tight over here. So here he comes back. Keep coming. Okay. All right, so basically we just need to get this guide just back far enough to where we can get that cover back into the actual groove here. Normally you can just manually roll this. That side over there is a little tight. So, let's see here. Give it a push. Okay. So now you can see we're back far enough to where the actual cover's outside of the track. The guide's still in the track. And you can see there's a little bit of a aluminum fringe sticking up here that's pretty sharp. So we're gonna go ahead and file that down also so it's not rubbing on this cover. So with our trusty file, we're gonna go ahead and get rid of this aluminum edge here. Just so we don't have nothing that's super sharp cutting into our fabric. Most of these covers are over $1,000, so don't want to ruin that. So with that file down, we'll go ahead and get our cover fed back into the actual track here. And that's kind of it. If I would have took this leading off edge off anyways, it would have made things a lot easier. So don't even have to leave a comment, hey, you should have took the leading edge off. Yeah, I should have, but I just knew this fix was going to be quick, and I just wanted to show you how easy it is here. So with our cover back in the actual track, we're going to go ahead and put our rope guide back on. And that's it. You might need to loosen this up a little bit. Just slip her back on. And so we want to put the cover in one side, the rope in the other, and that's it. That'll just push back in. Tighten her down. And we'll go ahead and put our security screw back in here that holds it to the track. So, all right. So we'll go ahead and have Tony go ahead and inch this cover close, and hopefully she'll feed in there. Keep going, Tony. Okay, stop. Now our track's a little bit off here, so by cranking these wheels on the actual auto cover, we can get it straightened back out. So this one's actually gonna run that side over there. So we'll go ahead and give that wheel a couple turns till she's straightened out. All right, she looks pretty good. And that's it. To get that fabric back straight, I just turned one of these wheels and just tightened the rope. And as you can see, each time you turn it, there is some clickers in here that'll hold it where it needs to be. And all that's left is Tony to close this cover. Ready? Yeah. Seems to be running good. So there you have it. This cover's back in its track. And as you can see, these guides are important. That's what's actually guiding this rope into that track. So like I said, if you get too much water on this cover and you try to move it without pumping it off, sometimes that weight of that water when you're trying to move the cover can pull these ropes out of the actual track. Most likely you've brought your cover in too far if you've had a rope kit put on there, and between the fabric and that rope kit, it got back behind this guide and it just fed outside of the track. So pretty easy to fix. Like I said, it only took us about 20 minutes to get her back in. If it was submerged underwater, that would have took a little bit longer, because we would have had to take out 4 screws on that leading edge right here and slid that leading edge off, and that's it. It just slides right off the actual cover, and it'll actually dump the water in the pool as it winds up. So not a biggie. So with this cover fixed, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave a comment. I can answer most questions on these covers. Pretty familiar with them, work on them all the time. So leave a question, I'll get back to you within 24 hours. And as always, another happy pool with Pool Elementary.